Hello, everyone. My name is Lauren Van. I am from the International Office at the University of Cape Town. I'm joined by a number of my colleagues in the call who will be sharing lots of information with you today. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever in the world you are calling from. Thank you so much for joining us online. We have a number of things to share with you. Please take notes, keep notes on your phone, or get out a page and a pen. If you do have questions as we go along, you should see on the right-hand side of the Teams menu pane, you should see a Q&A button. Please feel free to post your questions. We have colleagues in the room who will be addressing your questions through audio responses and also typing responses. So please track to see that your question has been answered. We will endeavor to answer all questions as we go along. We have a jam-packed session, and so I'm handing over to my colleague, Klenkiwe, who will start us off with a welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mrs. Lauren. Hi, everyone. I hope everybody is good. I hope everybody's well. My name is Shengiwe Gugule Tulisa Dube, and I will be your host for today. I'm pretty excited to have all of you guys here. And of course, congratulations and well done on making it to one of the top universities in Africa. And just to share a really fun fact, you are going to be attending a university that is going to be co-hosting for the first time on African soil the Times Higher Education World Academic Summit. And this is something that you could be part of, which will be happening at the end of September, on the 29th of September to the 1st of October. And the theme of this event is Knowledge, Justice, and Future, the Universities in the Age of Intelligence. So this is a pretty exciting time to be attending the University of Cape Town, and we're pretty excited to have you. I'm excited to have you. My colleagues are excited to have you, and I'm sure your parents are too. So well done and congratulations on making it this far. So I'm just going to give you a quick rundown and a welcome to the university, which is consistently recognized as Africa's leading university, offering world-class teaching, research, and state-of-the-art facilities. So best believe you can go home and brag a little bit that you are at the University of Cape Town. And we also are leading in our academic intelligence and excellence in terms of it's not only attending the top university, but you also have a chance to engage with the brightest minds and collaborate with groundbreaking initiatives and meeting different people, local people, individuals from also across the world. So this is pretty exciting. I'm going to hand over to my colleague and one of the best managers in the world, Mrs. Lauren.
Stop it. So what to expect from this session? Thank you so much, Slingy. We endeavor to cover detail around what to pack, travel in Cape Town, safety around campus, safety in the city, so that we make sure that you have those tips to keep safe and knowledge about emergency protocols, accommodation, that's if you have already secured a place to stay or need some help, the in-person orientation, where we warmly welcome you in person in the month of July, staying connected at UCT and the different platforms and systems that we have, including the UCT mobile app. Some more information about the Buddy Leader program, which is a friendship pairing program to help you settle in and keep you connected and make friends easily. You'll learn guidance on visa and immigration matters, which is very important as international students studying in South Africa. Also, medical aid requirements. As a student holding a study visa, we will cover pre-registration, which is an important administrative process to come through before you register for your courses. Judith will tell us more about course pre-approvals, and Rasheen is online to tell us more about fees. So I am handing over to Lana, who will take us through what to pack and some other important information on how to prepare.
Oh, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lana Fortuin, and yeah, you'll be hearing from me for the next couple of minutes. We're going to kick off with the climate. So you are arriving in Cape Town in our July winter period, so you can expect some cold and wet weather. The weather in Cape Town, though, is quite unpredictable. So even though it might start off as a cold and wet morning, it might turn into a sunny afternoon where you might want to go and have a visit to the beach. So in that case, we would say to you, pack in layers, warm layers, some waterproof raincoats, and yeah, long sleeve things to keep you some warm and that you can take off through the day. Since we are on the topic of what to pack, if you are on any medication, please bring those along and ensure that you have enough to last you for the period that you will be in Cape Town. Also bring along your medication, prescription, or a letter from your doctor, and carry copies of this in your hand luggage, just in case you need to present them. You will also need to carry copies of, or digital copies, or certified copies of your passport and visa. We do not encourage you to walk around with your actual visa and passports and have that rather locked away safely at your accommodation. So digital copies as well as certified hard copies of these documents. So yeah, moving on to the electronics and adapters. South Africa uses plugs type C, D, M, and N with a voltage of 230 volts. So make sure you have the correct adapters. If you don't have any on you, you would be able to purchase them at most of the convenience stores in Cape Town. And then lastly, homesickness is real. So if you do have any favorite items that you want to bring along with you, like a family photo, we encourage you to bring that along. Sometimes the photo in the frame standing next to your bedside makes a bit of a difference. Also, we encouraged you to do some journaling. So not only will this be a way of reflecting on your experiences and capturing your thoughts, but also it helps you kind of navigate the mix-ups in your mind, what you're experiencing and what you are, struggling to navigate. So yeah, those are things to bring along with you. As mentioned, clothing, you can dress, it's very casual in Cape Town. So bring layers, be comfortable. You'll be doing a lot of walking, and make sure you have a light waterproof jacket with you. So when arriving in Cape Town, now that we know what to pack, when you arrive, as a first-time student, we have a service that we provide to help you get from the airport to your residence in Cape Town. This is the Bolt service. Each student that is arriving for the first time would have access to a free ride from the airport to your place of residence to the value of 150 Rand. And this is just to help you feel safe when you arrive in this new country. So to access this service, you must complete the web form. We will send these links and information to you after the presentation. You fill that web form in at least 3 to 4 working days before you arrive, as we need to manually add you to the system. And then to redeem this free ride, what you'll do is you'll download the Bolt app. And when you are added, you'll see that the IAPO or the international office as a payment option. I just want to highlight this is a service available to you in Cape Town, not in your home countries. Then moving on, we have a number of different ways to get around Cape Town. You can still use the Bolt for your own account, of course. And then we also have Uber, which a lot of you will be familiar with. In and around the UCT campus areas, you'll see these blue buses that you'll see in the top right-hand corner. That's our UCT shuttles, and you have access to this for free using your UCT student cards. So just below that picture, you'll see a little image of a bus route. This you can find on the UCT website. And this shuttles goes between the residences, the campuses, and it even goes as far as our campus in the Cape Town Central Business District area. So as mentioned before, there are other modes of transport like the metro trains or Golden Arrow bus services, which you could use. Just from a safety perspective, you want to use these modes of transport in more peak periods, but I don't think you'll need too much of that. But yeah, we can chat about that. So that is the modes of transport that you'll find in Cape Town. While we are on the topic of safely getting around, safety, although we are one of the safer central suburbs in Cape Town, still remains a microcosm of South Africa. So we encourage you to always be aware of your surroundings. When you arrive, you will have a formal introduction to safety regulations, of course, but just so that you are informed, UCT is an open space, so there are no fences around UCT, but this obviously means that the public has access to it. So you'll find across UCT and the surrounding areas, these also blue vehicles, smaller vehicles than the UCT bus shuttles. That is our campus security services, so CPS for short, campus protection services. They patrol regularly. You can stop them and ask for support or assistance or even just directions. They're quite helpful. And if you stop them, even if you're feeling just a little bit uneasy, if the area is a bit quiet. So just below that picture of the blue CPS vehicle, you'll also see a vehicle of the GSID, GSCID. That stands for Grootskreer Community Improvement District. They are a community safety forum that works closely with CPS. So they are patrolling the areas around there as well. So you can feel free to contact them or speak to them if you need any support or assistance. The emergency contact numbers that you see to your left there, these are the contact numbers for in Cape Town. You will receive this, like I said, with this presentation, but you also will notice when you receive your student card, the important emergency numbers for UCT will also be printed at the back of your student card. Okay. So moving on to housing. This is a big one because you do not want to arrive in Cape Town without confirmed housing. So the international office provides a service to the international students where we support and assist students in making informed decisions about where they live when they are in Cape Town. So we only make recommendations. We unfortunately do not have property, so cannot place you. However, we do work closely with UCT student housing and local landlords to ensure that you are safe and comfortable. So to access this service, you also complete a web form, and this will tell us about your preferences, your budget, things that make you who you are, and we can make informed recommendations related to the details that you provide us. If we're speaking a little bit about UCT housing versus private landlords, UCT operates within a tiered system. So students are allocated to accommodation based on the system. And what this basically means is, firstly, students cannot choose where they want to stay. They are allocated based on things like your level of study, your physical needs, to name a few. And while younger students gets placed into residences that provides, wraparound support, in terms of fully catered, they'll have more hands-on support in terms of resident assistants and warden teams. The older or more mature students would then get placed into spaces that are more independent, so self-catering studio apartments, for example. Costs for UCT residences can be anything between 29,000 Rand per annum to 114,000 Rand per annum. And it's about half of that price for the semester study abroad students. And obviously, where you are placed and the cost of where you are going to be will differ for each residence and each room. If you are joining in the second semester, you will be asked, when the formal housing offer is provided, you will be asked to make a full payment of that amount. For the semester study abroad students, again, it will be basically half of the annual price. Yeah. You will get a formal housing if you have inquired or asked for accommodation in the UCT residences. You will get in a formal housing offer via email, and you will have to accept the housing offer online as instructed in the letter. So for private housing, this comes in the form of studio apartments, one-bedroom apartments, shared houses with single rooms, and even student blocks. And student blocks are something similar to the UCT residences, but just a little bit more modern, like a modern version of it. Decent and conducive to study, private housing normally cost, well, in the UCT community, normally cost between, I would say, about 5,500 to 12,500 Rand, depending on what you're signing up for. So, for example, if you are looking for something fancy with a pool and a gym and a parking lot, you could be paying the higher end. And if you're looking for something just simple and basic, you could be paying the lower end. If you have found some accommodation that you're not sure about, please do reach out and we can let you know maybe if it's a valid space, if it's a valid offering. I think anything below a 4,000 Rand would, should send you some red flags. But all student housing will include basically a bed, a desk, a chair, and a cupboard. It should include the necessary Wi-Fi that you will need for study. And then some landlords will charge or ask you to pay water and electricity separately to the rental fee. So when you're making inquiries with private landlords, please check if there are any additional costs outside of the rental fee. So there are two things I'd like to highlight. Firstly, make sure you understand the cancellation policies of private housing, the cancellation policies that will be listed in your lease agreement. If there are any cost to that or any, time period that you need to give them before you are able to cancel. And then secondly, the area you are booking in. So we've had instances where students would find beautiful properties, beautiful student accommodation, and at a good price, and then they end up about 2 hours away from the University of Cape Town because the property is closer to another university. So if you are unsure, you can, you can check in with us. We are here to guide and support. You can always check on Google Maps as well to see the proximity to the University of Cape Town. But I would recommend that you not sign any lease agreements until you are absolutely sure of all the details. In terms of house rules, and I think this is one of the more important ones, I can comfortably say that UCT residences versus the private accommodations rules are mostly the same, and they are there in place for you and your safety, as well as the safety of you, the people sharing the space with you. So please make sure that you understand and that, more importantly, you follow the rules, because there will be consequences. You'll probably see this in when you arrive. They'll give you a bit of an orientation around this, because consequences to breaking house rules could have expensive, it could become expensive. So bottom line is, if you're unsure, please ask. You do not want to commit to anything that you're not sure of, and that you might feel you've made a mistake at the end of the day. We are here to support you, and we will share this information with you after the session. Some of you I've spoken to already about housing, but please feel free to email me if you are still keen on going into UCT residences or just want advice. Okay, so I think that's all from me. I will hand you over to my colleague, Lengiwe.
Tengi, you on mute?
Hi, sorry about that. Okay, I was just saying that hi, I am Shengiwe Gugu Lisa Dube. You can call me Shengi, Gugu, Lisa, all of it. I love it all. I just want us to get us back to this correct slide. There we go. So I will be helping you connect to UCT as well as settling in and our orientation. And I just want to give you just a brief overview of how the 2026 semester two calendar looks like. We have our orientation on the 20th of July until the 24th, which is a super fun experience. You'll meet myself and my team of orientation leaders who will be here to assist and guide you in terms of just assimilating onto the campus environment and just the campus fun and the student life and how it's going to look like. And of course, the program will be for that period. And then classes will start on the 27th of July, and a colleague of mine will speak to you about how to add and drop courses. Then we have something called our spring break between the 7th and the 11th of September. So what we say in South Africa is this season is where students kind of get a little bit excited. So they use too much money or they overspend. So please be very budget friendly and as well just conscious about your spending habits. And again, you'll be paying for your accommodation, you'll be paying for, just going out with friends, lunches. So just be conscious about the money that you spend and the money that you save. Because in as much as you're in a different country, you still want to save and, buy souvenirs to take home to your family. So but you should enjoy your spring break nonetheless. And then on the 26th of September, we have the Heritage Day celebration. I encourage all of you guys to please be a part of the celebration where different cultures and art and just culture and traditions that you guys will see across, Africa will be represented at this event. And then our classes will end and then exams begin. So this you will feel a bit more pressure in terms of you need to be an academic weapon is also one thing that we say, and you'll need to do assessments, tests, exams, all of that. But you ain't got to worry about that because you guys are good. You guys are good. You made it this far. And orientation. So this is also just program highlights I want to share with you. On the first day, we're going to have something called the student mixer. Again, please come to it. There'll be food, there'll be refreshments. You'll enjoy it. And then again, an opportunity to meet your peers and experience campus. Then we'll have a campus tour, student card collection. So you do not need to worry about where you'll get your student cards. Our orientation leaders will assist you and guide you to access control. And then we're going to have specific presentations about your academic orientation or about safety and all of that. And then day two, we have cultural orientation, interactive drumming, which is pretty cool, and then the amazing race. So please come and bring your competitive pants because it's going to be competitive. And then day three, we're going to have presentations, more informative presentations about societies and events that we have throughout the year. And then day five, so day four will be a free day, which is the Thursday. And then on Friday, we have something called the Peninsula Tour, which we will discuss during the orientation program. It is free, so you don't have to worry about paying for that. And it's a full day just like touring around Cape Town. You will receive, of course, food, lunch on the day. I just want to also highlight, please make use of the Q&A section, not the chats, because the chats have been disabled. So if you have any question about the presentation that has just happened or about anything orientation related, you can just head on to the Q&A icon. It's at the top. And then our International Office Buddy program. I strongly encourage you to join this program. It provides incoming international students with an opportunity to be paired with more senior UCT students. And it's just a program that also has multiple people. So it's an opportunity to make friends, meet new people, again, assimilate into the UCT environment. How does student life look like? And it's also an opportunity. I mean, like, as you can see in one of the pictures, one of our buddy leaders decided to cook a traditional meal for the buddies that he was paired with, which was super cool. And people enjoy it. So please, I encourage you, if you do feel like you might experience culture shock or you might experience being homesick, you can join our program and you will feel more at home, I would say. And also just again, an opportunity to explore and experience the student life here in Cape Town. So this sign up will happen in July during orientation period. So you don't have to worry about that. But if you have any questions, you can hit me an email and then I will be able to provide you with the information there. Connecting with UCT. So there are two major platforms that you would be required to equip yourself with and knowledge, which again, during orientation, we have something called digital literacy, where we'll help you onboard onto these systems. The one is called PeopleSoft, the PeopleSoft portal, where you would be able to check your results after exams. You'd be able to check your fee statements. You'll be able to check timetables, where you're going to need to register for courses, where you add and drop courses, for example. So this will be be your central online system for all academic and administrative items, tasks, whatever it may be, and also to update your personal details. Please, this is one thing that's incredibly important. Sometimes, again, during the spring break, students get a little bit excited and then unfortunately maybe lose their phones and then they need to change their numbers. We need you to please update those specific details. Or, for example, if you change accommodations, we need that details to be updated on the system so that we're also able to know where you are in case your family wants to check up on you or a friend misses you. So, yes, please make sure that you update your details. And the second major important platform that you need to be well knowledgeable about is Amatuba, which is a learning platform, which means opportunities in a language called Xhosa. So I'm Zulu. So it's kind of also Zulu in a way, but it's Xhosa. And this is where you'll be able to access your lecture notes, your lecture recordings. This is where your faculties will be releasing information, as well as our office in terms of maybe visa immigration talks or events. This is where we would release communications, but it's a major platform for your faculties. So lecturers will say, hey, this is where your reading will be found. Again, digital literacy, we will go through it for you. And this is also where you'll be able to track your course progress. So how are your grades looking? Which assignments are due in specific dates and which tests are due at specific times? So these two you will be well equipped with. Another thing that we would need to please encourage you to download is the UCT mobile app. And this app is a service and information for you to get around campus. So as you can see in the picture, we have where it says campus safety, and you would get information about our campus protection services, which is security on campus, because we are kind of an open campus, but it's very safe. We have security points at all, I guess, important integrated parts. And then we have student housing, frequently asked questions. We have maps of the campus because there's multiple campuses all the way to, central Cape Town to the Rondebosch area, which is where we will be meeting for on upper campus. And yeah, so you'll be able to get quite a number of information on this app. And then I just want to play a very cute video for you guys, a taste of the UCT choir. They performed at one of our events, and I hope that you will enjoy it. It's all right. So that's just a taste of the UCT choir at our events. So please also, we encourage you, please join our events throughout the semester. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be fun. You'll be also able to meet again new people, more people, understand different traditions and different cultures, and I guess also experience a bit of our choirs and the art that UCT students have to offer. So I cannot wait to see. I'm excited to see you all, and I'm going to hand over to my beautiful colleague, Mrs. Fiona.
Thank you, Hlengi. How amazing was that? So we hope that you're going to be enjoying this wonderful um, culmination of cultures with us. So, in order for you to experience all of those things that Hlengi spoke about, just in terms of the orientation, the programs, the body programs, experiencing the Heritage Day events, would require you to have the valid documents in order to register with UCT for the academic year. So of importance is to understand is that essentially it is the South African government who makes the determination in terms of who is allowed into the country. And so you had applied to UCT and you had received the offer. And I just wanted to give you a brief overview in terms of the requirements in terms of the Immigration Act. So we are governed by the Immigration Act 2002, and the Act makes provision for international students to come and study at universities within South Africa. And we need to ensure that as a university, we need to ensure that there is a dynamic mix between international students as well as local students. So everything we do is to ensure that you maintain compliance and so that your stay in South Africa, more so before your stay even, is that your application will be successful. So in addition to the government gazette, the Immigration Act says that if you are a study visa holder, i.e., you've applied to come and do full degree or semester study abroad program or course, and you are going to be residing in the country for a period of 6 months at a time, all those individuals must have a study visa in order to legalize their stay in the country. So in addition to that, the Immigration Act states that study visa holders must have medical aid registered with the Council for South African Medical Aid Schemes. Now, while many of you may have medical aid and maybe on your parents' medical aid, those medical aids are not really recognized in terms of the immigration compliance regulations. And so we have two primary medical aid providers. And when you received your visa support letter, that I will talk to a little bit more, we would have provided guidelines with regards to the two options that are available to international students. Medical aid, as we know, is a little bit of a grudge purchase, but we need to ensure, and the South African government wants to ensure that any non-South African that is within the borders of the country, should anything ever happen to them, if they need medical emergency or medical treatment, that they would be able to access any of the doctors that has been approved by the Council for South African Medical Aid Schemes. Also, it gives you peace of mind, i.e. in terms of the service provider can be held accountable in the event that the service that was rendered is deemed to be insufficient. Now, in addition to that, apart from the medical aid that requirements, the government primarily looks at, so there's a whole list of application requirements in order to come into the country. But three things that they look for is your criminal record, proof of sufficient financial means, as well as proof of medical aid. Now, your criminal record, so if you're in America, you would probably need to get a police clearance from the FBI or whichever policing authority that is in your home country. You would need to get a police clearance certificate from them. We encourage you to start the process early because we don't know how long the process would take within your country. Of importance is to note is that the immigration regulations state that if you've lived in a country for 12 consecutive months, any country that you've lived in for 12 consecutive months within the last 5 years or so, you would need to provide a police clearance certificate from each of those countries when you submit your visa application. Then thirdly, the third overarching requirement above all of the other requirements is proof of sufficient financial means. So the government wants to ensure that you have enough money to pay for your tuition, your day-to-day living, as well as just to be out and about. They want to ensure that you're not going to be left destitute in the country, and that in the event that you have sufficient financial means in order to do so. Now, having looked at all of those factors that you need to take into account, I just have a little bit of a roadmap just in terms of visa and immigration. So I think our largest cohort here today would be the semester study abroad. And so when you applied to UCT, you would have applied via the SSA team. That is Judith, Felina, Makonyani, and a few other people that may be in the call. And so when you applied, you would have received a study offer as well as a visa letter that would have Judith's signature at the bottom of the letter. If you're a full degree student, are you coming to do your master's, PhD? You would have received a system, the faculty would have made an offer via our online platform, which is PeopleSoft. And once that offer was issued, the system would have released what is coded a B84 coded visa support letter. The letter is an attachment to an email, and in the email it will essentially say, congratulations on the study offer. Here are some factors that you need to take into account. And so the visa application, typically, depending on where you're applying from, typically would take between 8 to 12 working weeks to process. There are countries where it is where it is quicker or sooner, but what you need to bear in mind is that you are one of a few hundred people that may be applying for a visa to enter the country. And so there have been instances, as an example, in the US where students were not able to get an appointment early enough, or the system said that you could only apply 90 days before. I encourage you to familiarize yourself with the embassy website, or if there's a VFS office in your country where the application will be submitted, make sure that you understand all of the requirements. Now, the visa application, as I mentioned earlier, we spoke about proof of sufficient financial means. If your parent is the one that is covering your tuition, we encourage your parent to write a letter. You would need 3 months bank statements of your parents' current bank statements. In addition to the bank statements, a letter from the parent or parents saying, it was me, Ifione Rispi, and the parent of Judith. This is my ID number. Judith is going to be studying at the University of Cape Town. I take full financial responsibility for Judith in terms of her tuition, her accommodation, and so forth. In addition to the letter, we also encourage including a certified copy of your parents' passport, as well as yours, or in some instances, while not a requirement, there have been times where the embassy or the mission abroad had asked for birth certificate for reasons we cannot explain. So key factors or key points to bear in mind: apply as soon as you receive the offer letter as well as the visa support letter. Take into account that it takes 8 to 12 working weeks to process. Look at all of the requirements on the embassy or VFS's website. Be mindful of the medical aid. There may be companies in South Africa that would say that where the cost would be a little bit less, but sometimes they are medical insurance and not medical aid. And I know it's a big financial outlay because the Immigration Act says that you need to provide proof of medical aid up front when you're applying for your visa. And then, as I said, the proof of sufficient financial means, together with your police clearance, because the objective of ensuring that you have all of those documents is an application that is going to be successful, i.e., you are issued the visa, which allows you to travel to South Africa and fulfill the pre-registration requirements, which Lauren will be speaking about in detail. So just in a nutshell, Those are some of the highlights in terms of visa and immigration and ensuring that you maintain compliance. We will be hosting a visa information session just to talk around. You are in Cape Town, you potentially want to extend your stay either either for holiday, or you actually decided maybe you want to pursue a um, a longer academic career at UCT. And so what the steps would be in order to do that. Before I hand over to Lauren, of importance is when you collect your visa, please make a point of checking it while you are at the VFS or the embassy. Make sure your name is spelled correctly. Make sure that the visa is endorsed for UCT. Make sure that your passport information is correct. It creates a problem when you travel to South Africa and some of that information is incorrect. You may encounter challenges when you want to enter the country because they're going to look at your passport and they're going to say your name or your surname is spelled incorrectly. Your passport details don't match up. It doesn't give the relevant information with regards to you going to be studying at UCT. It is easier to rectify when you are there in your home country and before you leave the embassy or VFS. So please just make sure that your documents are in alignment with the offer that was made, as well as your travel particulars. And now I will hand over to Lauren. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Fiona. Some important reminders from you over there in terms of what to check before you depart your home country in terms of passport and visa. Hi again, everyone. Lauren Van over here, and I am going to present on pre-registration. So, firstly, what is it? In summary and real brief, it is an administrative process that allows us to verify that you have the immigration documentation that is aligned to what's needed as international students studying at a South African higher education institution. So the pre-reg process is a prerequisite before online registration can take place and be completed, where you can enroll for all your courses. So with pre-reg, we have uh, two elements that essentially we are interested in, and that is to see that your immigration paperwork is in order. We verify the information, we capture that information on the student staff administrative portal called PeopleSoft, and we lift the immigration hold off of your record. The second element is proof of initial fee payment. Because we are speaking to you as a second semester cohort, and all of you will be coming in the middle part of our year in terms of our academic calendar. All of the fees will need to be paid upfront, and Rashina will speak to us in a lot more detail about that. But pre-registration essentially will make sure that where tuition fees are applicable, that those fees are paid, whether it's an exchange fee or um, the payment for the semester study abroad program or for the full degree course enrollment. So that's what pre-registration is. What's needed, I'll start first with the immigration documentation. So for most of you, and for most of our students, in fact, because we are a contact-based institution and teaching occurs for the most part in person, most of our students are needing to travel, arrive in Cape Town, and be here to, one, participate in the exciting orientation program that Klingiwe told us about, but also to attend class in person and fulfill the course requirements in person. And so for the immigration side of pre-reg, what we are looking for is a certified copy of your passport personal details page, a certified copy of your visa that is endorsed for the University of Cape Town, and proof of medical aid, which Fiona has spoken about and explained the need and why it's helpful to have medical aid that's registered in South Africa, but also from an immigration compliance point of view. For those of you who are enrolling students in the call and you are not coming through the semester study abroad program, but you're coming for a full degree purpose, you're coming to do research, in your case, And I've mentioned already certified copy of visa endorsed for UCT. Most of our students are coming in on study visas, but if you're coming for research purposes, we will accept a certified copy of a visits visa endorsed for research at UCT. In terms of medical aid, the immigration regulation requires that holders of study visas must have medical aid that is registered with the Council for Medical Aid Schemes in South Africa. If you are a researcher, though, whether you are coming to do an international affiliate, you're coming as a visitor and a visiting researcher, or you're coming as a postdoctoral research fellow, it's it's acceptable that you have a visits visa endorsed for research. And while we would advise that you have medical aid that's active and allows you access to medical practitioners in the city should anything go wrong, it's not compulsory from an immigration regulation perspective. So you will be able to fulfill the in-country immigration component of pre-reg through a visits visa endorsed for research, certified copy of that, and certified copy of the passport personal details page. And then for those who are residing outside of South Africa, if you're in this call and you intend on signing up for your program, you are going to enroll, and this mostly fits with those who are enrolling in postgraduate programs where you will perhaps enroll from your home country or somewhere outside of South Africa. You will start your PhD or start your master's and do field work in a different country, or start the research and the literature review and whatnot in another country, and then eventually travel to South Africa and be based in Cape Town and continue the rest of your studies. In that instance, for the immigration part of pre-registration, we will look for a certified copy of your passport personal details page and a signed copy of the remote pre-registration application form. And by remote pre-registration, this means that you are commencing your pre-reg as well as your studies remotely. You are not in another city in South Africa. You are outside of South Africa. And the remote pre-registration application form, it's a two-page form. It's downloadable from our website, and a link to the form we will make available in this call, as well as after this call, when we send you a copy of the recording and all of the resources that we've mentioned so that you have it available and easily accessible for you. In terms of the remote pre-registration application form, you, as the applicant, if the scenario suits your circumstances, where you will commence your study or your field work or your literature review, begin doing your research outside of South Africa, then you will download the remote pre-registration application form that we'll make available, complete your personal details in the first section on page 1, hand it over to someone who has delegated authority regarding registration. So this will be a UCT staff member within the faculty office that you are going to enroll. So if you are a student who's in the liberal arts humanities faculty and you are aware that you'll be conducting your literature review and doing all the preliminary work on comparative studies in linguistics, and you'll start all of this in your home country before you come to South Africa. You are able to pre-register and register remotely. Once you have the remote pre-registration application form and you've completed your personal information, you will need to have either the manager within the faculty office that you are enrolling in, or the academic supervisor who will take care of you when you enroll and offer you guidance and academic supervision, or the course convener for the program that you are enrolling in, someone with delegated authority regarding registration related matters. So you can't sign the form, you complete your personal particulars only, and then a UCT staff member to whom you'll be accountable then signs and confirms, yes, we know the student, they are enrolling in whatever the program is, the details will be on the form, and we are aware that they don't in fact need to travel to South Africa. They'll obtain a visa later in the year, or they won't obtain a visa at all. Or if you're coming in on a modular program, which is applicable for a lot of our students who are enrolling with the UCT Graduate School of Business, where you are based in your home country, you are a working professional in your home country, you are undertaking a diploma or a master's program for upskilling yourself, and you will only be traveling to Cape Town for your teaching week. So you're coming in for 1 week or 2 weeks at a time and then going home and continuing to work. If that scenario is applicable to you, then the remote pre-registration application form is also what you will need. And you'll indicate on that form which box matches your circumstance. And again, it would need to be signed off by someone within your enrolling UCT faculty office, whether that's the faculty office for commerce or the faculty office for humanities and liberal arts. A staff member then needs to sign. So once you've obtain that documentation. You've got your visa, you've got your medical aid, you of course have your passport, or you have the signed remote pre-registration application form. You give that information to us by way of a service request. So far, since you've interacted with UCT, you would be familiar with the online application page. Now that you've applied, or at least most of you have applied, you would have received confirmation that you have a firm or conditional study offer, and you can track all of that through the student portal. So you'll use, and I see Felina has already posted a link in the Q&A space, but you'll log on to studentsonline.uct.ac.za, studentsonline.uct.ac.za. You'll insert your campus ID, which is also your student number. It's an important identification number, well, alphanumeric number that you'll need throughout your journey with UCT. So you insert that alphanumeric identifier together with your matching 14-character password, and you'll log on to the student self-service portal. There's lots of tiles and information on that portal, or buttons, for lack of a better way to just give you a kind of a mental picture, where you can select different services or view different parts of your personal student home page. So within that student self-service portal, there's a button that says service requests. And that is a feature within that self-service realm where you select an administrative service and you ask for assistance from a UCT staff member. And it's that feature of your student self-service portal that you'll use for the purpose of pre-registration. So for the immigration component of pre-reg, you will click the service request button, navigate through the different options, select international student pre-registration. There's two types. You will select the immigration type, and then once you've selected and created that service request, there's a plus button within that page where you can add multiple documents, either one comprehensive PDF document that has everything grouped together, or add multiple documents, but essentially we will need to see that your certified copies of passport, visa, proof of your medical aid cover is uploaded for students who are going to be in country and residing here on a study visa, or that you've given us certified copies of your passport bio page together with the signed remote pre-registration application form if you are a remote study student and doing fieldwork or research abroad, not in South Africa, or you are a graduate school of business student and you are taking a course through the GSB or a similar program where you are only coming to UCT each time there's a teaching week and you're not going to be here for longer than 3 months at a time. Once you've uploaded all that documents, you submit that service request. And our turnaround time is within 3 to 5 working days, a lot sooner because of the time of the year. And as soon as the information is captured and processed, you'll receive a notification to say that it is accepted. In terms of fees, we'll need to see proof that you've paid whatever the fee payment requirement is for your program. So for the semester study abroad students, you will be invoiced the exact amount that you need to pay. You'll be invoiced with the banking details, where fees are applicable, and you'll have to pay either the exchange fee or whatever the appropriate fee is. Rashina again will explain lots of that detail. where you are coming in on a full degree program for PhD or for masters by coursework and dissertation, or just research masters, you will have to pay the amount applicable for your program, and the fees are structured based on the program you are enrolling in and based on your nationality. So there's multiple ways in which fees can be paid. Rashina will take us through that detail, but once a payment has been made and you have proof thereof, again, you visit the student self-service portal, you'll select the service request button, you'll navigate through that service request feature, you'll indicate that you'd like a service in terms of international pre-registration. You select the second type, which is the international student fee payment. Remember, you would have already dealt with the immigration type. You select the international fee payment type and you upload your proof of payment to that service request by adding an attachment. Once you've submitted that, our fee and finance colleagues will then check that the payment's made, check that it's reflected in UCT's bank account, and lift that hold. Once the immigration hold and the fee payment hold are both lifted, you can then proceed to online registration. Just a note in terms of immigration status within South Africa. If there's anyone in the call, and by virtue of having been born here or through your parents and having been naturalized and obtained citizenship by way of your either one or the other of your parents being South African citizens, if you hold South African permanent residence, you won't need to obtain a study visa, provided that you have a valid South African permanent residence permit document. We will need to see a certified copy of that document. And for the purposes of immigration clearance through pre-registration, a certified copy of your permanent residence permit, as well as a certified copy of your passport bio page, will be accepted. We will also ask that the original documents are brought to our office. So once you eventually travel and you land here, if you're not already here, to visit our office on Middle Campus during orientation or before that, and we will verify the original paperwork in your presence. And obviously, you'll leave with the paperwork, but we'll need to see the original, and you will need to be the one who brings that to us. If, however, you hold asylum seeker or refugee immigration status in South Africa, again, you won't need a study visa for the purpose of registering as a student, but we will need to see valid copies of the asylum seeker and refugee documents. You won't necessarily have to visit our office if you hold either one of those two statuses. We work very closely with the Department of Home Affairs Refugee Center. We will have those documents sent for verification with the Refugee Center. And if there's any concerns, we will engage with you. Otherwise, for the purpose of immigration clearance, that is sufficient to be accepted for the immigration hold to be lifted. So that's all from me on pre-registration. I'm going to hand over to my colleague. So Rashina, over to you to tell us more about fees. Thank you so much.
A warm welcome and greetings from the Mother City. My name is Rashina, and I'm going to just talk to you quickly about fee payment protocols. Since the focus group today is second semester study abroad students, you will receive an invoice, which Lauren mentioned to you. The invoice will have the amount payable in dollars and the banking details. For all students at universities outside of Africa, you will be paying $8,310. When you make this payment with the information provided on the invoice, please ensure that you have the correct reference number included in your payment, because this is how we trace your funds and then lift your fee hold. For all other students, meaning not semester study abroad students, fee payment is required in full for second semester registration. Besides PhD first time registration, you will be charged 50% of the fees plus an admin fee. students that are considering going into housing, Kate, all your payments must include the selection of residents that you choose. If you're going into a catering race, you will be required to pay the amount on the screen. If it's self-catered, then the amount applicable to you. Okay, moving along. This is regarding sponsored and funded students, which really is not applicable to this audience, but however, there are information here that could be pertaining to the methods of payment and self-paying students. And should you require any information or clarity on your fee pay, how much fees you are required to pay, this link will be shared for you to generate a self-service pro forma invoice, which will provide some guidelines on what you will be required to pay. These are some useful links that we will also share: the fees handbook, our websites, and the flow chart, and also important information that we could miss in this presentation, or something comes to mind later on. You're welcome to send your query through to the email address featured on the slide. Okay, this is also information which you could read later on, because yeah, for this audience it's not applicable. If there are a few students here that will be interested in it, it will be for your access after the presentation. I think before I conclude, it's very important for me to mention that remote registration does not mean you do not pay. It means that you're not physically in Cape Town at UCT, but you will be registering for some sort of access to academic information with the institution, and therefore, based on the program that you'll be registering for, the fees will become applicable. For example, international affiliates, the duration, all of that information and breakdown is available in our fee booklet. But I just want to reiterate, because we've had queries previously, remote remote registration does not mean no fees. Yes, and semester study abroad students, Judith will be talking to you about this, but I just want to say that all semester study abroad self-paying students will be required to upload the proof of payment, include the reference, and once the funds have cleared in the UCT bank account, then only will we lift the fee hold. There are students that will be receiving pre-registration letters from my colleague Judith, and will be required to upload those letters as soon as you receive them for fee clearance. And the sooner you do it, the sooner we will clear you, and you can be pre-registered, sometimes even prior to your arrival in South Africa. So that is all from me. Please, if there's any questions or queries that you might have regarding fee payments, please pop them in the chat or send me an email. Thank you so much. I will hand over to Judith.
Thank you, Regina. Hello, everyone. My name's Judith. You've heard my name a lot today. I am the coordinator of the Semester Study Abroad program. I'm also joined in the call by my team, Felina, Nicole, and Mukunani, who many of you have already been corresponding with via email. They're also here to answer your questions in the chat, the Q&A. So please do feel free to put your questions in there if you have any. Today, I'm going to be speaking to the steps to registration at UCT and the course pre-approval process for semester study abroad students. So there are a number of parallel processes that you just need to keep track of in the lead up to your time here at UCT. The first thing that is important to note that If you haven't already completed this step, please try to do so as soon as possible, and that would be to accept your UCT study offer online. Some of you may have initially received a conditional study offer, which you accepted in PeopleSoft, and subsequently received a firm study offer once we received your official transcripts and proof of English proficiency. Please remember that if you have first received a conditional offer and later received a firm offer, that you will also need to go into the system to accept your firm study offer. So if you haven't done that, please do that as soon as possible. The next step in the process is related to course pre-approval updates. So you should by now have already been receiving individual email updates for each of the courses that you selected when you completed your application form for the program. Those update emails would have given you an indication of your course pre-approval status for each of those courses. So on my slide, you're able to see that there are 4 different course pre-approval statuses that you might come across. The first is approved. That means that when your request was reviewed by an academic approver, they found that you met the equivalent course entry requirements for that particular course, and you are able to proceed with registering for the course. You might see a pending status, which means that your course request is still under consideration. If you've been denied for any of your courses, that simply means that the approver who reviewed your transcript and your course pre-approval request didn't find sufficient evidence that you met the equivalent course entry requirements, and you will unfortunately not be able to enroll for that particular course. It doesn't mean that you have been denied for the entire program. You will be able to select a replacement course if you choose to do so. And then the final status is to be confirmed at registration. In that case, there may be some questions, excuse me, there may be some questions that the academic approver may have related to your transcript and your academic history that they wish to discuss with you closer to registration, or it may mean that your course request also wasn't reviewed by the deadline. So you will have an opportunity to seek late approval for that particular course when you arrive on campus. And I'll speak more about that in a moment. The next step in the process, which isn't included on the slide, but as I mentioned, there are parallel processes. You would have heard Lauren speaking about pre-registration earlier. For semester study abroad students, I just want to note that the pre-registration period starts on June 29th. And the deadline to submit all of your pre-registration documents is July 17th. Okay, that is the Friday before the start of our in-person orientation program for the semester. So when you arrive on campus, you will be assisted with the academic registration process for the semester. Even though this is an online process, it just means that you'll be completing it through PeopleSoft. It doesn't mean that you will complete it online prior to your arrival in Cape Town. Once you've gotten all of your pre-registration clearance sorted out, on the first day of our orientation program, we will guide you to apply for all of your approved courses. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, there are different course pre-approval statuses that you might encounter. Only those courses that are approved are the ones that you are initially allowed to register for, but we will guide you through a process called change of curriculum, which is step 4 in the process, during the first week of teaching for the semester. So what this means is that if there are any courses that you were not approved for, or if perhaps you've changed your mind about a course that you would like to enroll for, and you'd like to seek late approval for this course, there is an opportunity for you to do this during the first week of teaching for the semester from July 27th to July 31st. And we will explain to you when you are here how to go through that process to submit everything via PeopleSoft. Now, if there are any questions that you have related to the course pre-approval process, maybe the statuses that you've received via email or any other updates, please feel free to either write to us via email at ssa@uct.ac.za or to put your question in the Q&A for this session. Thank you so much. I'm going to hand back to Lauren.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Judith. I do see a hand, so that's probably in response to the detail that you've just shared. And we will segue into questions really soon. So just as we land this plane, I'm going to turn back to some of the fun stuff. Not that course pre-approval is not fun, not at all, but just to whet your appetite on some of the student events that you can expect. And Hlengiwe took us through the timeline and calendar of events that are forthcoming, starting with in-person orientation. But we do want to encourage that you stay connected with our office in terms of what we have planned for our second semester. We had a fantastic Africa Rising student event talent showcase in the month of May in honor and celebration of Africa Month and our student talent and diversity. And so as we look forward to the rest of the year, in September, we will have a heritage celebration in honor and celebration of Heritage Month in South Africa, but also just at UCT, and we are very proud of the student diversity, but want to do what we can to facilitate student integration and have students from different cultures mix and mingle and learn from one another. So the slide that's being shared at the moment is some memories of our sip and paint, sip juice, but sip and paint student event that we hosted in September last year. It was a huge success. Students loved it. They painted whatever was an expression of either a picture that they are fond of or something that reminds them of home and their culture, their identity, an expression of being African or whatever it is that is close to and resonates with them. It was a very successful event, and we will do something similar in September this year. I'm going to share another quick clip. And so just a taste of the in-person orientation in terms of our interactive drumming session. Watch this. Okay, I hope everyone was able to hear that. Lana, can I get a thumbs up? Was there any break in the connection?
I think there might have been a break. I didn't see it on my side, Lauren, but I see it now.
Okay, I can definitely play again. It's a very short clip, 20 seconds. Here we go. Better, Lana? Did everyone hear? Colleagues, can I get thumbs up? Was that good? Okay, getting thumbs up. Wonderful. Okay, next slide, please, Lana. Can everyone see the next slide? Our social media handles? Hopefully. Yes, I'm getting thumbs up, and that's just to encourage everyone to please follow us on our social media accounts, to stay connected with what we are doing, to stay connected with what's up and coming, to get a glimpse of who our students are. And again, like I said, we've got such a diverse student community. And so there's lots in which you can deep dive into and just be immersed in lots of same, but lots of completely different. And in so doing, learn and be changed and transformed yourself, but hopefully for the better. So we have come to the end of our official presentation segment. We've shared lots of detail with you, as we've already said and posted in the Q&A space, but announced at the start that this entire session has been recorded. We will make sure that the recording is made available to you. Thank you so much for your attention. I noted that there were some hands when Judith was coming to an end with um, the portion on course pre-approvals. The Q&A space is still open if there are questions that we have not addressed, or if there are answers that have been provided but you're still not satisfied. There's at least 3 themes and areas of concern coming out of the Q&A that I do want to touch on. But before we do that, there was at least 2 hands. Can someone help me in terms of questions? Just so that we make sure that we. Okay, I see Madawa first on my side. So this is kind of loaded. I think it's in order of whose hand was raised first. So Teams just does a random thing in terms of first come, first serve. So Madawa, if you are there and able to unmute yourself, I will activate your microphone so that you can ask your
Hi, good
question.
day, ma'am. How are you?
Well,
I
and
don't know if you can
yourself.
hear me.
Yes.
Oh, I'm very well, thank you. I had a question. So we've yet to receive a final confirmation letter, and I just wanted to know, can we expect that closer to the time that
It's
exactly
hard.
we expect that?
Yeah. Do you know what? Well, obviously you would know what program are you enrolling in. It's hard to give you timelines because we, as an international office, are a service department. We don't make the firm or
Yeah.
conditional offers unless it's connected to the semester study abroad and exchange program. So if you're coming for your full degree, for master's or PhD, it's hard to speak on behalf of the faculty officers in terms of their timelines for giving final offers. So I'm assuming that at the moment you've received a conditional offer subject to the conditions being met. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so whatever the conditions were, and you don't need to reveal it in this conversation, have
Mm-hmm.
you submitted whatever they need? So sometimes if you're coming from a part of the world where English is not the first official language or not the medium of instruction that you were taught in, they would require proof that you are able to learn in English through a TOEFL test. Have you met the conditions, whatever they were asking you to submit?
Yes, I do believe so. It's an honors program in it's for the economic analysis for financial markets. They
Okay,
said that it has a June intake.
June, July intake. Okay, so I would
Yeah, so we
recommend
applied for
if
that intake.
okay, I would recommend if you haven't
Lauren,
yet.
can I come in there?
Yes, sure, Nani, go ahead.
Yes, I was going to say, can the student send us his student number to Ayapo at UCT? Then we can take it up with School of Economics.
Of economics. Sure.
Okay, so sorry. What's the email I should send it to?
So it's IAPO at
Yes, ma'am.
uct.ac.za.
.ac.
You got it?
Okay, so just with my student number.
Yeah. So brief description, this is who I am. I'm confirming
Okay.
timelines for a firm offer to be made. Obviously, it's within their
Okay.
rights
Thank you so much.
to make firm offers, but yes, we can ask
Yeah.
questions on your behalf.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am.
You're most welcome. Asiki, forgive me if I'm saying names, surnames that
Yes,
aren't.
hello. Actually, it's
Uh,
Oshetsky. I'm Pavel Oshetsky.
okay.
Hello.
How
Yes,
are you?
hello. How are you? I'm okay, thanks. And you?
Good. What is your
It's
question?
great. My question requires because I was added to the TEMS Master in Management program, that's additional program for just for abroad students, and do I also because of this program will I also get
Your
some
your
orientation
your your
around the?
audio I'm not sure if it's just for me, but your audio is breaking up.
Can you understand me now? Is it better?
It's not understanding you. It's hearing you, and then there's a break in being able to hear you, and then hearing you again, and then there's a break. So you can continue, but just in case we don't catch everything that you are saying, I will recommend that you also write to the Ayapo mailbox that we just uh, made reference to the mailbox address so that we can refer your query on. But please continue, and we'll try to make sure that we get the full um,
Okay, sorry,
detail that
just
you are presenting.
first of all, I'm starting lessons at 24th of August. Will I also get orientation tour around the Cape Town?
So if you coming through the MIMS program, the Master in Management through the Graduate School of Business, you and unless you are arriving in July, if you are arriving in July and you're able to participate in our orientation program that our office is hosting for incoming internationals between the 20th and 24th of July, then whichever parts of it, if not all, you are most welcome to participate in everything. If you are only arriving in August, to be here from the 24th of August when your Master in Management program starts, then the Graduate School of Business will offer an orientation for students who are enrolling on that particular program. It won't be the same orientation, but they will give you a welcome and induction experience to bring you on board and to get you started as you commence your master's.
Okay, thank you. And another question, how will I know that my documents that I uploaded to your university website will be approved so that there doesn't require any change or something?
For the documents that you upload to the university website for pre-registration, are you referring to those documents?
I'm referring to the copy of my passport, the title of bachelor and etc.
Yeah, the immigration paperwork for the immigration hold to be lifted and the proof of fees for the fee hold to be lifted. So once you submit your service requests for immigration and for fee payment, we will receive that on our reports. We will process those requests and accept them. As soon as it's accepted, you receive an email notification whereby you are told your immigration documents have been recorded and accepted, and that hold is lifted, or the fee payment document has been recorded, accepted, and the fee hold is lifted. Once both holds are lifted, you can proceed with online registration for your particular master's program. If there's anything missing, in that service request environment, our administrators will post a comment whereby we say, we've received your passport, however, whatever it is that hasn't fulfilled our requirements. So we've received your passport, however, the scanned copy is not clear. Please resubmit a certified copy. Or we've received your passport, but your visa is missing. Or we've received your passport and visa, but your medical aid is missing. Please resubmit the information. So we'll mark that service request incomplete until we've received everything that's needed. Once everything is submitted, we will capture the information, accept the service request, and the hold will be lifted.
Okay, and this immigration, it's only about visa or something else?
The immigration is about your passport bio page, the passport personal details page. The the study visa, where study visas are applicable. If you are coming through a graduate school or business program where you are only here for certain times and you're coming in for a specific period, attending a teaching block and leaving again. For the masters in management, and Fiona's in this call and can correct me if I'm wrong. Most of the students coming in on the MIMS are masters in management obtaining study visas. Hey, Collie?
So it is only about visa, right? This.
It's about the passport bio page, the study
Mm.
visa that's endorsed for UCT, as well as South African medical aid cover, proof that you have membership
Okay, thank you.
with a South African medical aid.
But it'll be all added in one file or in separate.
You
Okay.
can decide in
Sorry,
one file or separate.
can I come in again, Lauren?
Yes.
Can the student send an email? We've got 2 more hands and we're 5 minutes from 6 o'clock. So can
Sure.
you send an email? Then we can at least respond to the other 2 hands. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. And we have till 6:30 just for everyone on the call. Alexandra? Are you able to
Hello.
unmute?
Hello, yes, I'm so sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I saw it in the chat. I think I'm not the only one in this situation. So I live in Knoxville and I flew to New York to the South African consulate. I live in France, but I study in France, but I came back to the US. And so the timeline for me to get my student visa, the representative at the embassy at the consulate said, "I'm really cutting it close." What happens if there's a situation where I literally get my passport the day before my flight and I'm not able to upload these certified documents?
So it's acceptable if pre-registration is happening in the week of orientation. Are you presenting a scenario whereby your flight is to arrive in the week of orientation or a day before school starts?
So my flight is scheduled for the July 16th and I get there on the 17th, but the woman at the consulate said that she didn't know that I would get it on time. So in a situation like that, let's say number one, best case scenario is that I get it right before my flight. Worst case is I don't get it. What would happen if I got it and I miss orientation completely?
So it's not ideal that you miss orientation. We don't want to have any of our students on the back foot. Orientation really is an experience where, besides we welcome you warmly and show you around and get you connected, it's so that you can kind of get a soft landing and start to acclimatize before school starts. We have a very rigorous academic um, system at UCT, and so it's really to prepare you for that. So if it's the worst case scenario and you've missed orientation week and you arrive in the week that school starts, which is the 27th of July, it's not too late. It's not ideal, but it's not too late in that you can be pre-registered and enroll for the courses that you've been pre-approved to take in that week. But again, not ideal. It will be very pressured and very rushed. Um, but
May I come in, Lauren?
sure,
So
absolutely.
Alexandra, if or Alejandro, sorry, if there are challenges that you're experiencing with your visa, you're welcome to write to the semester study abroad team. Please do
Okay.
keep us updated on progress with your visa, and then we can give you individual advice based on your personal circumstances. But as Lauren has mentioned, it would be advisable as far as possible for all semester study abroad students to join us for the orientation program. But if you are having challenges, please do let us know so that we can advise you directly. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All the best. Are there any further questions?
Maybe we can check if we have responded to all the questions.
Sure. Okay, so there's some questions about additional charges for the semester study abroad program. I see Judith has responded in terms of if you are coming on exchange through a specific partner agreement where certain fees are waived, fee payment could be subject to, well, not could, it will then be subject to that specific agreement. So some students are coming through our bilateral partners where the agreement covers them in terms of tuition fees, and then others would be subject to the semester study abroad once-off fee payment. I see Judith nodding her head. Do you want to add anything more, Judith?
Yes, thanks, Lauren. So if I can just recap some of the information that was shared by Rashina, our finance colleague. For the students who are participating in the semester study abroad program and who are coming through third-party providers such as CIEE, IES Abroad, or World Strides, as well as students who have been nominated to attend UCT on exchange. So as Lauren mentioned, where we have an agreement with your home university, those students will be receiving a fee letter, which can be used for pre-registration. In many instances, depending on the specific terms of the agreement with your home university, you may not be required to pay any additional fees to UCT. And then for those students who are coming for direct enroll or as free moving students, independent students, and are paying your own fees, you will receive a fee invoice for the package fee of $8,310 and you will need to provide us proof of payment for those fees. So if you have any questions about which category you fall into, if you're unsure, please do send us an email at ssa@uct.ac.za and we can confirm for you whether you are due to pay fees or not. Okay, thank you.
Sure. Any further questions? Just repeating that email address for everyone to have that at their reference to that from the Q&A. Okay, so that's in terms of fees.
Hi, Lauren. I think there was a question. I think there was a question regarding not getting immigration documents approved on time or not getting here in time, and there was a question about refunds. You will be able to request a refund if you've paid already and were unable to attend for immigration reasons or anything else. But there are dates, Judith, you can jump in and let me know what the dates are, especially for semester study abroad, what the dates are for the cut-off for when refunds will be accepted and the amounts that will be refunded for your program.
Sure, thanks, Rashina. So in the event that you have paid your fees for the semester study abroad program and you're not able to come to South Africa and to Cape Town at all, so if you let us know that you would like to cancel your application prior to your arrival, there is a $100 cancellation fee. In the event that you do arrive in Cape Town and you participate in the orientation program but decide not to register for the semester and you leave before the start of teaching, there's a $262 cancellation fee. And then if you do arrive in Cape Town, participate in the orientation program, and you are registered for the semester, but you decide that you do not want to stay, if you cancel with us by the Friday of the first week of teaching for the semester, that's July 31st, then you are eligible for a 50% refund of the full semester study abroad fee. If you have any questions about this, as I've mentioned before, you're welcome to email us, and we will be able to guide you on the process. As I said before as well, if you're having visa delays or any challenges in that regard, please do also keep us updated so that we can advise you appropriately about how to go about different pre-registration and academic registration processes. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Judith. I see a hand from Kirash. The mic is being enabled. Please unmute and ask your question.
Hello, everyone. Hello, man. Do you have my voice?
Yes, we can hear you. Hello.
Thank you. I had a question regarding one embassy, and my second question is regarding the fee. My first question is about I am from Iran, and I'm currently in Iran. And as you know, probably the embassy is shut down. They are not working, and it is not specifically known when it is going to start again. And I think I will definitely lose the orientation. I wanted to know to whom should we email for the individualized uh, orientation. Your colleague, I think, said.
Oh, there's no individual orientation.
Yeah. So if you are so yes, there's no individual orientation, but if you anticipate that you'll be arriving late and that will impact your registration. So there was guidance given for semester study abroad students and who they should email. If you are coming as a full degree student, you can email us to iapo@uct.ac.za. So that's IAPO at uct.ac.za. If you foresee that you will miss orientation, there is no individual experience that's given that's equivalent to that week-long experience, but we will do our best to onboard you by referring you to whatever information you need. Also through our online platforms, which Hlengiwe referenced earlier in the presentation, there's a student learning management system called Amatuba, and we have an Amatuba site, community site for orientation, where all the information that's presented at orientation is backed up and shared there. Again, it's ideal to be in the room during orientation. You can listen to the presentations live, ask your questions, connect with your peers. But if for whatever reason there's a late arrival and you miss that week, then we are able to direct you to where you'll find information. You can visit us at our office and let us know ahead of time of your potential late arrival. And impacts are not only possibly missing orientation, but if there's a deadline for second semester registration, and we need to then engage with your enrolling UCT faculty office to let them know that you've let us know that because of visa delays, you'll be late and therefore not register by whatever um, the recommended date is. So I
Thank
hope
you,
you
ma'am.
got
It
that
was
email.
relieving. Yeah. May I ask my second question regarding the fees?
Sure.
Okay, maybe
There were.
before
Sure.
I was going to say before the fees, does Fiona have any guidance or advice in terms of the embassy, the challenges, or how the student can get support in that area that you mentioned?
None, I would have to write to Durko to ask where the closest embassy would be and if there's any arrangements that has been made based on the current status in the country that will regarding where the student can apply. We will be sharing a list of information after this, and you can write to visa-immigration@uct.ac.za. And just regarding, I don't know if you can see the links here on the page.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So just write to visa-immigration, just indicates that you are having issues with, as you're not able to apply in your home country, what are the considerations that have been made for you? And then I will pick it up from there.
Thank you, ma'am. I took
Okay.
note, and I hope this will be relieved. Thank
Okay.
you.
Pleasure.
Regarding my second question, there is a international service fee of 5,800 rands. I wanted to ask if we should pay it through the payonline.uct.ac.za and manually enter the price, or is there an invoice in my PeopleSoft? Should be. I'm PhD student.
Okay, so thank you for your question. I just want to know if you will be registering as a PhD for the first time in the second semester.
I think yes, ma'am. I have never previously registered.
So because you're going to be registering for the first time in the second semester, you will need to pay your fees up front, a total of 19,820 South African rands, and then upload the proof of payment. So that 19,000 includes the 5,600. So because you're going to be registering for the first time second semester, your PhD fees will be halved. So that will be 14,220 plus the 5,600, and the total fees payable prior to pre-registration is 19,820. So that is what you will have to pay. The payment needs to be concluded prior registration.
Excuse me, ma'am. I have previously paid, I think, 34,000 rands previously for the tuition fee. I wanted to know if this is apart from that, or did that include this 5,800 as well?
So the 5,600 is included in the 19,820. Your PhD fee alone for pre-registration, the cost of the PhD is 14,220 plus 5,600. Your 5,600 is over and above the 14,220. So you have to pay the entire total before you are cleared for registration.
Thank you, ma'am. So, if I understood right, I have to pay the 5,800 apart from my previous payments through the pay online that you see that AC.za annually. Is that right?
Yes, if you haven't included your admin fee of 5,600, then you have to include it.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Any further questions? Yes, Madawa?
Hi, sorry, ma'am. I just had one more question regarding the fee, the initial fee payment for the honors course. I've been trying to calculate like how much it will be, but every time I try to do it, it doesn't register like which course it is. So I went to the students portal, and then I went to that self-service pro forma, the one that allows you to calculate the fees. But then
Yes.
I couldn't find any way. So I just wanted to ask if maybe you had any idea how much the initial fee that I had to pay in order to allow me to pre-register is.
Because it's all dependent on the academic program that you will be registering for. And may I please ask which country you're coming in from?
From Namibia.
Okay, so you're SADC student. Yeah, so if you also don't mind sending an email with your student number to ayapo-finance@uct.ac.za, please make sure that your student number is in the subject line, and you can send a request through, and I'll try and see how best we can assist you get a quotation as to what your fees are going to look. But you will also have, we will share the links of the fee booklet. So you can also have a look at the fee booklet. If you recognize on your offer letter what your program is, you'd be able to recognize the academic codes that you've been accepted for, and try and locate your fees. Together with your fees, the total fees, you have to also include the 5,600. Unfortunately, second semester registration, we require full fees upfront. But yeah, if you don't mind sending an email, I'll have a look at it and see how best we can assist you get the estimated fees across to you. Okay.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Sure.
I've posted the reference to the mailboxes that we've been speaking of. So that's housing, that's semester study abroad, the general mailbox for our office for pre-registration and other queries, the mailbox for visa and immigration, and then the student fee payments, the IAPA finance mailbox. So all of that is in the Q&A space. And again, the link to the recording, useful links for finding information that you may need, or for example, the downloadable remote pre-reg application form, as well as mailbox information, etc. All of that will be made available after this call. So we will be writing to all of you, thanking you, of course, for your participation and attendance, and then providing you with the resources that we've made reference to in this call. Any other questions? So just as a general comment, someone was asking about a certification and what does that mean? And so essentially you will need to meet with a commissioner of oaths, and that could be a police officer, that could be, I mean, the people take various forms in terms of position, but essentially someone who carries that office, they've got a stamp whereby they can check your original documentation. They can see your actual passport, your actual visa, and check that the photocopies of the originals it's a true reflection of the original. They will then need to stamp that copies and make sure that they sign that certification stamp, that they date it, that it reflects their name, their designation, and that they are Commissioner of Oaths, and that they are providing a sworn oath that what they are seeing as a photocopy is an exact match of the original documentation. And so you can do that through a commission of oaths or through a notary. If you are unable to obtain access to any of the two in your home country, or these services, if it's expensive, if it comes at a fee and it's expensive, you are welcome to do it immediately upon arrival. We have commission of oaths at police stations in the city, so you can visit the nearest police station in Cape Town. We have people who hold that office at our office on Middle Campus in Rondebosch at the University of Cape Town. So you're welcome to visit our office during business hours. But it is something that you will have to provide by way of fulfilling the immigration requirements for pre-registration. We will not accept a scan camera picture of your documents without the documents having been certified, so that we know that someone who holds either one of those positions has seen the original, if we are not seeing the original, and they vouch for the fact that the photocopy or the scanned copy is a valid reflection of the original. So that's on certification. In terms of access to pre-reg within the student self-service portal, you need to, and Judith, when she started her segment, explained to the semester study abroad students in particular that you would need to accept your firm offer. And so to pre-register, you need to have a firm study offer. So you've been given a firm study offer and you've been activated by your enrolling UCT faculty office for registration. So both of those things need to be in place whereby you have a firm study offer. So whatever the conditions were, you've met those conditions. You've now been given a firm study offer for the program and you have been activated for registration by the enrolling UCT faculty office. And so if you find that within the student self-service portal on PeopleSoft, you can see the service request button and you can navigate to the different options, but you're not able to find the pre-registration option. It could be that either you don't have a firm study offer yet, or you have a study offer, but you haven't been activated for registration. And so the pre-reg option is not available in that menu. Please write to us at IAPO, so IAPO, at uct.ac.za so that we can intervene and assist you. Then there were questions on cost of living. And I'm not sure, Nani, if you want to come in and say one or two things on this. Nani may have dropped off the call. But just in terms of cost of living and how to prepare, not an easy question to provide an absolute answer for because Cape Town can be as expensive, I guess, as you. It depends on your lifestyle. It's so subjective. So things are very costly, and I think with the prevailing circumstances around the world in general, things are costly, and we are a big cosmopolitan city, and so you do need to use wisdom with how you spend. But in terms of preparing and what to anticipate, a lot of it would work on a scale. So Lana made reference to accommodation being within a range, so you could easily find a single room, a bed space for 5,500 South African rands, all the way up to an upper end of over 10,000 South African rands. And so averaging that out between 7 to 9,000 South African rands. Again, it depends on various factors. And I use accommodation as an example, but there's a number of different um, categories in which you would need to be spending for your own personal items, for food, for transport, if you're not using the UCT Jammy Shuttle bus service, but Ubering to different places across the city over and above using the free Jammy Shuttle service, purchasing textbooks where you can't find free resources online, or you're not able to find everything you need in the UCT libraries. So there's a number of items where you will experience that they are expenses. And some will be that is the cost. And if you are signing up to participate in this particular event, then there's a cost, that is the cost. But then there are other things where it will definitely work within a range, and it depends on how close are you wanting to live to campus, what amenities and facilities are you wanting access for, depends on the standard of living that you would in particular would like. And so it can be very costly or very budget friendly, quite subjective. Nicole shared in the Q&A space a link to a rough cost of living estimate table. So you can let me know if colleagues, do you suggest I repost that, or is it sufficient that the link was already posted? You can guide me here so that I don't duplicate.
Lauren, I can reshare it as well. So the cost of living estimate that Nicole would have been referring to is specifically for semester study abroad students. It's just a general indication of what one can expect to pay for certain things linked to your time in Cape Town. There are both costs provided in South African Rand and US dollars for comparison. So that is available for semester study abroad students if you would like to know what you are looking at spending.
Sure.
But
again,
yeah, as Lauren mentioned, it is dependent upon your personal choices and your lifestyle. But it is just a rough estimate of what you can expect in terms of basic costs. for your time in Cape Town.
Yeah. And that in particular is a projection to live very, very comfortably and be able to do lots of fun things and do so comfortably and yeah, within your means if that's the budget that you're working off of. But you can easily live safe, secure, and comfortable on a lot less, again, depending on how much budget friendly you need to be. We have 5 minutes left for this call. That 5 minute reminder notification has just gone off. Are there any other questions? Nothing. Colleagues, is there anything from the Q&A conversation space that you are wanting to flag? The 3 elements that I mentioned in terms of certification being activated for registration so that you can see the pre-registration buttons and options and the cost of living. I've covered those areas. Anything else? Okay,
I
with
don't think
nothing.
anything else, Lauren. Sorry.
No, that's fine. So thank you so much. With nothing further, we will be closing this event with 4 minutes to spare. Thank you so much for your time and attention, everyone. Thank you, colleagues, for your. I see a hand.
Yes, I was just about to say. Can I
Yes,
just make one comment before you take that hand? So there was quite a
100%.
few questions about the SIMS, the orientation.
Yes,
So generally speaking, faculties, departments have their own orientation to onboard students into their respective programs. And then the one that is hosted by office is general and overarching in terms of ensuring that you understand what is available at UCT and just to give you a holistic view of what life at UCT would be like. I just wanted to clarify that part, but any faculty and department will have their own orientation as well. Ours is just over and above and to enhance your international experience at UCT and in South Africa. Thank you.
100%. Thank you so much, Fiona. Same. Okay, the hand that I saw is not there. So with no raised hands, we will close the call. Final takers, any questions?
Maybe they're having an issue because it comes up and then
It's
goes
raised
down.
hands and then they go.
Did we recognize the name? I think it started with a M.
So there was a
There
I
was
think
2 hands
Kiara.
that popped up and disappeared.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was Kiarash.
There's a Makonyani.
Mukonani, did you see who it was? If it was anyone who previously has asked a question and we enabled your microphone, all you need to do is unmute. If it was anyone who previously asked the question, your microphone is still enabled. You just need to unmute and then you can go ahead and ask.
Lauren, it could be the hands where just like a reaction, trying to react and a thumbs
Sure.
up or clap, or
Sure.
it could be clicking on the wrong little icon here, because I think that's what it was. I mean, I've done that a few times too.
There was a thumbs up for that. Yeah, 2 thumbs up.
Oh,
Okay.
yes. Okay, so I'm
Okay.
correct. It
3.
wasn't a
Okay.
question. Yeah.
Okay. Well done, Rashina. Thank you, colleagues. Okay, well, if there's nothing further, then thank you so much, everyone, for your time. We hope that this has been valuable. We are so looking forward to welcoming you in person. If you arrive before our orientation week and you have time, stop by our office and let us know. If there's anything that we can assist you with, then all our mailbox details have been provided. Again, a link to this recording useful links to help you, particularly to get access to things like the downloadable pre-reg remote application form, the mailbox details, all of that will be submitted to you. So give us about a week or so. We will also give you a link to a survey where we hear from you what parts of this was valuable, anything more that you would have needed to hear that we perhaps didn't cover, so that we can improve this experience for the next group of students that we engage with in a similar way. So thank you, everyone. Have a lovely day or afternoon or evening, wherever in the world you are. To my colleagues, have a lovely evening with your family. Thank you so much for being online at this hour. Be blessed. Take care, everyone. Thank you.
Tot ziens. Bye.
Good night.